Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is episode number 766, and as you can see, I'm in quite an enchanted place. Despite the fact that you might see that there is a road here, it's not. It used to be a road, long time ago, I think. And not only a road, I suspect it was a railway here. But it's closed for years, if not decades now. And I'm trying to not drown in here because it's quite swampy. There's a little stream going from that hill and it's kind of making everything really wet around. So I'm trying to get some stable ground. I already got some water in my shoes, I can feel it, so I failed already, but at least I got to the fairly hard ground and try not to slip and break my leg. But yeah, it will be likely the first segment of the whole episode, so I'll record the rest later. But because of that scenery, I wanted to record the first half now, because we are almost at 3 p.m, so about halfway of the day, and I can already provide half update. So today, Tuesday, we are off business-wise. We are not deploying sauna today, albeit we are still kind of working in the business because we have queries already for the weekend, which is nice because the last week or two were pretty quiet, and it seems like as we are closing on Halloween time, it will get a bit busier. And we already have a bigger group planning to come up for the weekend. We'll see how it goes. We already gave them an offer and made sure that all their questions are answered. So we'll see if they go for it or not. Regardless, I know that we will be likely busy this weekend and hopefully this week, because as I said, it's that time of the year where everything starts moving again after that hiatus between the back to school and Halloween. Other than that, this morning we dropped Julian at school, quite a regular thing, nothing fancy. We drove to the Bakery Shack again. I think we are one of the most loyal customers supporting local business like Bakery Shack, because we are almost every day we are taking coffee and snacks. Only yesterday we took a slight diversion and went to Foam in Bundoran, but that was because we did a walk in Bundoran, so it made no sense to change the route just to grab a snack from Bakery Shack. Let me just try to avoid that barbed wire and not get scratched. So we did a walk in Rosnala. It was a high tide, so it was very difficult. At first we had to use the road, and then we stepped onto the beach and completed the rest of the walk at the beach. There were a couple of surfers. It's very nice, and as you can see, it's sunny, unexpectedly sunny, because the forecast wasn't promising and there was no mention of any sun. But here we are, the whole morning up until now, about 2:30 p.m, and we still have sun. So the weather can be quite unpredictable here. I'm looking still because I found a couple of mushrooms, the birch polypore, a couple of chanterelles, and one wood hedgehog mushroom. I found one of the ceps, or famous porcinis, quite a big size porcini, but it's already aged and quite eaten out by the slugs and probably other maggots too, so not necessarily anything that I'd like to add to the menu. But it's great to know that this place has so much mycelium to offer, because you can see, maybe, let me just try and get it a little bit down. There are some mushrooms here, different types like brittle gills and other stuff, so there's definitely a fairly old mycelium underground, meaning that it's a mushroomy place and worth exploring next year. Well, I'll come probably in winter time as well to see if winter mushrooms happen to be here too. But as you can see, there are decent size gilled mushrooms and these kind of puffball-y thing. They are not exactly puffballs. They are slightly different species and quite toxic if you eat them, as opposed to puffballs that can be eaten when they are still young. These cannot. Well, you can eat them, but I cannot guarantee you what the result will be. Oh, this is the porcini that I was talking about. It's here. It's quite big, to be honest, but well eaten already, and I don't see a sign of any other specimen in the area, in the vicinity. They sometimes have more than one specimen in the area, but they are not mushrooms that grow in groups most of the time. So if you find one, doesn't mean that there will be any other in the area. Okay, so now that's the difficult part. I will have to stop because I need to cross that and it's very wet. So the rest I will record later on. And I'm back. It's quite late and it's actually the next day already, which is Wednesday, as I recorded the second segment. So let me just quickly wrap up the second part of the day and top it up with a small bonus footage of about 10-15 seconds in the end. So you've seen me in that weird, beautiful and a bit surreal place that I recorded the first segment in. As I was walking back to the car, literally, I don't know, maybe 20 meters, 30 meters before I reached the car, before I turned back to the short segment of the road that was connecting that lovely place with the national road, I found a huge specimen of Neoboletus luridiformis, which is one of the mushrooms that I was least expected in this place. You can see the picture in the blog post. It's an interesting mushroom. It's one of those mushrooms that turn blue when damaged or cut through because of the oxidation of the substance in them. So whenever you cut the mushroom, it exposes that substance to the fresh air and the oxygen, and it basically oxidizes and turns into something that gives that blue tint. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly which substance is in Neoboletus luridiformis because there's a couple of them. They are still being researched, so once I know, I'll tell you. But I don't want to just kind of do any guesses. There's no point in that. There's a couple of substances that can turn blue when oxidized, so this is one of them. There are even psilocin that is part of the whole kind of magic mushroom species. It can also turn blue in certain conditions. So, but the one in Neoboletus is not hallucinogenic. It's just a different substance. Later on, I just quickly went to school, picked Julian from school. We got some groceries on the way back, and I dropped him at home. And because Elizabeth is doing the dinner, I decided to go for a second run, or second kind of me time, because I didn't get a chance to fly with the drone. I decided to try and get that, last light and see if I can film anything with the drone. So I drove to Loch Esk, or Eske estate. I first parked in the woods and did a couple of shots there while looking for mushrooms, and then it was already kind of dusky. I went for another place nearby. It's like an old creepy church that belongs to the Church of Ireland. It's very rarely used, I think only some Sundays. And other than that, it just kind of feels like it's abandoned. So I did a couple of nice shots from Neo, that small drone that I recently purchased. I'm really surprised how well they turned, considering that I switched from auto to kind of pro mode that allows you a little bit manipulate the ISO settings and shutter and white balance. I forgot about manipulating the white balance, but it still turned pretty well for that size of the sensor and the drone. It wasn't windy, so I was able to climb on the fairly nice height and make a couple of clips. And that was really it. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. I need to go to sleep. I went to sleep again yesterday around 2 or 2:30 a.m. So it's really time to go to sleep. So thank you very much for being here. Have a great rest of the day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Stay tuned and see you again.